Good evening, everyone, and welcome to Make It Happen, the premier high school Burlington County sports show featuring Tim Costello, your host, Ben Sweezy, my co-host. Ben, how are we doing tonight?
Good today. How are you, Tim?
Good. And we got my special guest, Jenna Howe. Jenna, how are we doing tonight?
I'm pretty good.
Jenna, you're very proud. She's a University of Kentucky alum, and she's been riding horses since, about 5th, 6th grade?
Yeah, 5th grade.
And she rode equestrian for the University of Kentucky on the equestrian team. And, we're going to get into that in a little bit. We're also excited to have our sponsor, Giant Fitness, with us tonight. During the course of the show, feel free to call in at any time at 609-447-0236. That's 609-447-0236. And, okay, Jenna, our special guest. Jenna, you're a graduate from Rancocas Valley High School.
Yep.
And, we talked about, I know you played field hockey.
I did.
And you did some track and field.
I did.
And then and during this time, you always were involved in horseback riding?
Yep, the whole way through high school and middle school.
Now, let me ask you something. How did you get started in horseback riding?
Well, it's a funny story. According to my mom, I just woke up one day and apparently said, Mom, I think I'd really just like to ride a horse. And her little connections, that my mom has.
And she has quite a few of those.
I'm learning more and more every day.
So you woke up one morning, you had sweet dreams of riding Black Beauty
sure.
Through the open range, and you decided you want to go to horseback riding.
How easily did it make horse riding and all those competitions? How did that help you transition? You said you had a rough first year.
Right.
That must have helped you ease in,
Absolutely.
get more comfortable with the university.
Well, what happened was I ended up joining a sorority, Kappa Delta, and one of the girls I was in my sorority with, she's like, I said, I miss horseback riding. I, was really heavy into it throughout middle school and high school, showing and whatnot. She goes, oh, well, you should come out and ride. And she goes, what do you think about being on the equestrian team? And I'm like, what? UK, the equestrian team? I mean,
it's only the horse capital of the world.
Exactly,
why would you think that?
Exactly. I'm looking at myself like, are you crazy?
Yeah.
And she said, actually, we have open tryouts. We're just, you can go and try out and kind of see if it fits for you or not. So I went and met, they rode at Robert Murphy's farm at the time, Robert Murphy Stables. And you just go, and it was like any normal lesson you would have. And the coach is there, and she's just giving you a normal lesson and just kind of seeing, what level you're at, outweighing the fact that, there is a hefty amount of girls who are pursuing this as well. And luckily, because it is IHSA, unless we're talking about a ton of girls here, it's pretty reasonable for everybody to participate on the team. Mm-hmm. Whether they get riding time, like playing time, is another thing. But, I went and I rode, and the coach was like, if this is something you're interested in, you need to come fill out the paperwork. We think you're well enough to be on our team, and, you're definitely a more advanced rider, which was nice because I'd never ridden equitation. So I was like, oh, I must look, pretty in the saddle if she's saying I should come and see what this is about. So I went to a meeting, and you fill out all this paperwork, and this is where it gets a little sticky for people who have a hefty showing history, because you have to put what levels you've shown at. If you're showing a 3-foot jumper and you're consistently competitive in it and placing, you can't go in the walk trot class because it
defeats the purpose.
Exactly.
Yep.
Obviously, you're a little more advanced than that. So based on my showing history and my ability, I was placed in intermediate, which is the second
right.
to highest, which I was kind of intimidated by that at first, considering I'd never done equitation, and horse listeners will know I'm not your typical equitation rider. Typically they're not super tall, but very tall and lean. I'm short, shorter, I should say. So,
short but sweet, Jenna.
Oh, well, thank you. So I was very intimidated with it at first, but, Michelle, the coach we had, was extremely supportive, and she granted you any opportunity you wanted for time to ride, to plan any amount of lessons. So I just picked up horseback riding right where I left off, and I started taking lessons on a weekly. Well, I used to ride like 2-3 times a week. You had to do your mandatory ride for the team, and then I would take additional lessons, and then I got into leasing different horses just to have something to ride and show, and it kind of pretty much kept you busy and in the loop, which helped when it came horse show time, because it's not like you ever left it.
Right.
Girls went away for the summer and came back like not riding all summer, like, oh gosh, I gotta get back in shape, and I just kind of kept right with it, which was nice.
You talked about equipment and the horses and stuff. The shoes that the horses wear.
Right.
Are there different shoes for different types of styles of horses?
Absolutely. Gray currently has what I like to call Nikes.
Nikes,
the newest,
huh?
the nice Nikes.
Nike's into the horseshoe business.
She's got the new Jordans.
Nike's
She's
into
got the new
everything.
Jordans
Well,
out.
they're into everything.
I didn't know they made Jordans for horses.
The next thing you know, we're going to be hearing about sports drinks for horses.
It's just he has the regular horseshoe, which is aluminum, which is lighter. A steel shoe's heavier. And then it has, it's this actually like a leather pad, and then between the hoof and the pad, it's filled with this thing called Equipack. So it's like a gel substance that makes it very cushy for him. So when he steps, on the different, we obviously travel
like
a lot.
Like the Dr. Scholl's type thing when he steps, very.
Well, he is 11, and he's not old, but unlike a football or baseball where there's kind of like an age limit, you've reached your peak, there's not really that for horseback riding. I mean, as long as you're getting the job done and you're succeeding at it, no matter what the age is, you could do it,
What is the average age for a horse?
I
know I've already bypassed the average age for if I were a horse, but what is the average age?
I would say about 20, depending on the care and what you do with them.
We need to close. It was absolutely, we're so thankful to have you on.
Great having you on.
Oh, it was great. It was absolutely a great
Thanks.
show. It was, interesting and mind-boggling in a lot of aspects.
Very enlightening.
Oh, she did a fantastic job, and we're going to have her come back. She's not going to be our basketball analyst, but she's going to come back when we do, and do another segment, because I am sure we missed a lot on an equestrian.
Yeah, well, you know what? It's shocking how many majority of girls are, ride in high school and are looking into this intercollegiate thing. Off the top of my head, I know Holy Cross has an equestrian team.
Holy Cross College up in...
No, Holy Cross High School has an equestrian team.
Holy Cross in Delray?
Yeah.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. It's based out of Mason Run with Marie Asper.
Oh, wow.
I know.
How long have they had that?
It's just started. Like, all these high schools are and remember, these are self-funding. I can't imagine how much money the high school can give towards such a
Now, is that the only high school in Burlington County that has one?
To my knowledge, but I can't imagine that's the only one.
Okay.
I just want to thank everyone for listening tonight. My name is Tim Costello with my co-host Ben Sweezy.
Thanks,
Our
Tim.
special guest, Jenna Howe, an equestrian. Our media director is Luke Wallace. Our general manager and at the board is Aaron. We're going to see you next week right here on Wi-Fi 1460 AM, or you can hear us online at Wi-Fi1460am.com. My name is Tim Costello signing off, and we'll see you again next week. Thank you and have a great week.